Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again, doing a big news recap for Wednesday, 30 July. Here we go. So first of all, I want to apologize. I haven't been doing these, and I haven't been doing some of the interactive stuff on the ops desk. Obviously, I've just been deeply embedded in this awful story that happened here in midtown Manhattan, where we had all these killings. I've been on the air a lot. A number of people have commented. I appreciate that. And, I've been dealing with the NYPD press office to try to get the story straight so we get the facts to the folks and we can potentially mitigate any concerns about whether or not there's an ongoing threat. So, obviously, what can you say about it? Our hearts break. I know it's a cliche, thoughts and prayers, but what can you say at this point? Just a senseless, awful thing. The lessons learned are going to be done. There's going to be a forensic of the security protocols or anything else, but nobody's to blame here but the shooter and maybe whoever helped him get the gun, because now the story's emerging that maybe somebody apparently did buy the operative piece of the rifle and then a handgun for him because he had mental issues and likely could not get another gun, or at least shouldn't have been able to get a gun. That's something that needs to be looked at, because there are laws against not only the straw buyer, but somebody with mental issues still being able to maintain and hold on to the gun that they have. And in fact, Nevada has those laws. And I'm surprised not hearing more about this. They called red flag laws. There's yellow flag as well, where the person's kind of monitored. But red flag, the police or a family member can go and petition to have the person's guns removed. And it doesn't look like this was done here. I'm not hearing a lot about that. Now, again, I don't want to play the blame game. I'm not looking to point the finger at anybody. It's a difficult issue in a Second Amendment society. But it has to at least be examined so that we can maybe fix it going forward. Because what good are these laws? It was only passed in 2020. That is the red flag law in Nevada. And if you're not going to use it, what's the point? Even real ardent Second Amendment advocates, all right, and I confess, I'm not really that much of a gun guy. I know the guns that the the police department give me, but I don't know a lot about guns. I'm the first to admit it. But that said, even ardent Second Amendment people, who I know, a good friend of mine is very embedded in that stuff, that he says it very plainly. If you're really a Second Amendment person, of course you don't want crazy people to have guns. Of course you don't. And then left always changes this narrative. And there's two things I want to say. First of all, according to the Pew Institute, and I said this on the air, over 90% of gun killings occur with illegal handguns, or with handguns, and they're almost all illegal. Let's put it that way, is a more accurate phrase. And that's going to be drug crews and gun crews shooting each other in a criminal context, all right? It's not long gun stuff, all right? And the other thing is this: when they try to enforce, that is the feds, try to enforce so that crazy people with mental issues don't get guns, they have to rely on state data. They have to rely on people who have had mental issues. And that stuff has to be reported to them, and the states won't permit it. Generally, they won't permit it, especially the blue states. They don't want the feds looking at that. And while I am normally very much on the side of the states, because I'm leery of federal power, listen, if that's what we got to get past to enforce the idea that crazy people don't get guns, well, we should do it. The other big story today I want to mention, Kash Patel found this trench of documents in, he didn't find it today, but he admitted to it today. He confirmed it. Look, this is the big story, folks. Don't get distracted by all this other noise, all right? The economy's doing great. That's terrific. What happened in the attempted coup against Donald Trump in 2016, and then the undermining of his administration, his first Trump 45, because they all have to answer for it. I don't know if somebody has to go to jail, but there needs to be a clear accounting, starting with Hillary, where this came from, and then the whole rest of them: Comey, Brennan, McCabe, Strzok, Page, Bruce Orr, his wife who worked for Christopher Steele. The whole mob of them need to answer for this. Let me close with just this. Eric Swalwell has thrown down the gauntlet with Greg Gutfeld, daring him to have a powerlifting contest. You heard that right. Now, Greg, I want to say, dude, for America, I think you can do it. All right? I will come with you to the gym. I will help you train. I will get you lifting, bro. I'll bring a whistle, maybe a little whip. I'm not lifting anything, but for America, for God and country, Greg, you can do it. Paul Morrow here for the Ops Desk.